We join Saucepan as she leaves Hayling Beach, having discharged her cargo of shingle. As she moves out of the shallows, her hoppers are filled with water to make her more stable. The first task for the crew is to take soundings in the hoppers so that the volume of shingle remaining may be calculated. The saucepan is a trailer suction dredger. The shingle is sucked up from the seabed through this half-metre diameter pipe. The pipe is lowered down runners on the side of the ship until wedges force the flange against the pump suction inlet. The shoe can be lowered to a depth of 15 metres and has a grill to stop debris entering and blocking the pipe. This diesel engine produces almost 2,000 horsepower to drive the suction pump. The dredge area lies just east of Chichester Bar Beacon. The area to be dredged has been accurately surveyed and a contour map of the seabed has been loaded onto the navigation computer so that the captain can plan his track accurately. The dredging is being promoted by Chichester Harbour Conservancy to increase the depth of water over sand and shingle bars in the entrance of the harbour at low tide. The saucepan does not have a conventional ship's wheel. Its heading is changed by adjusting the setting on the autopilot. The ship's position is shown on a miniature chart on the screen of the navigation computer. When dredging is complete, new soundings are taken in the hoppers so that the volume of shingle dredged up may be calculated. Meanwhile, a new survey of the seabed is made. The large aerials on the survey vessels receive signals from navigation satellites and information on the tide height. This new survey will be loaded onto the navigation computer when it is complete. The saucepan has a speed of about 8 knots when she is empty and 6 knots fully laden. The journey from the dredge area to the beach takes about 15 minutes. As she approaches the beach, water is pumped from the hoppers to reduce the draft and ensure that she can run up as far as possible. The vessel's position on the beach is maintained by the autopilot, whilst the captain controls the velocity of the water shingle mix being discharged and the angle of the jet on the bow. The water cannon fires the shingle some 60 metres onto the beach. Remote-controlled water jets are used to disturb the shingle in the hopper and drive it to the suction inlets. The closed-circuit television system only shows part of the forward hopper, and the captain has to rely on hand signals from the crew to make sure it is properly emptied. Water jets on the floor of the hopper wash the final remnants of shingle towards the suction pump. The dredger is able to make 3 trips over each high tide, carrying about 600 cubic metres of shingle per trip. It took 10 days to complete the movement of 25,000 cubic metres of shingle, working 2 tidal shifts each day. 1 shift was lost due to bad weather. The difference between the recharged groins and those that were not filled is clearly visible. Within 5 days of the operation being completed, the fences were taken down and the beach was being used by visitors.
For centuries, the beaches in the East Solent had been nourished naturally with material from the rapidly eroding Selsey Island. This material forms shingle beaches, backed with high ridges which protected lower-lying land behind from flooding and erosion. In the 20th century, coast protection works erected at Selsey caused this supply of material to dry up, and since then the beaches have been receding. Whilst the shingle is generally moved along this coast from east to west, at Eastoke there is a drift divide, and some shingle is carried eastwards into the harbour mouth by waves and tidal currents. When the tide ebbs, the strong currents in the channel draw this shingle out of the harbour, and as the currents weaken it falls to form shoals seaward of the harbour entrance. These can be a hazard for navigation. The blue areas on this survey show the shallows in the entrance channel that the Harbour Conservancy wishes to have removed by dredging to improve navigation. The Saucepan Dow is a trailer suction dredger designed with a shallow draft so that it can work in coastal waters. At its heart is a 638 kilowatt engine driving a pump with a special volute which is capable of handling solids such as shingle suspended in water. This sucks shingle off the seabed through a pipe which is a ½ metre in diameter. To assist in the dredging operation, a 283 kilowatt clean water pump generates water jets through holes in the dredge shoe to loosen the shingle, which is then sucked up the larger tube. The bridge of the Saucepan is very sophisticated, and the dredging operation can be controlled by one man. Computer screens and satellite navigation systems enable the track of the dredger to be carefully controlled in relation to previous surveys of the seabed, which show the location of available material. As material is dredged, the track is recorded with the survey data to avoid revisiting areas previously dredged. Another screen gives information on the depth of the dredger shoe and the total weight of the dredger, which increases as shingle is deposited in the hoppers. Although the hoppers have a total capacity of 1,500 cubic metres, loads are restricted to a maximum of 1,000 cubic metres in order that the dredger may get close to the beach and discharge the shingle ashore. Two 1250 kilowatt main engines drive the ship on the voyage between the dredge area and the location where the shingle is to be delivered. If necessary, a 283 kilowatt reversible bow thruster is used to assist in turning the ship in confined spaces. During the voyage, the hoppers are dipped in order that the volume of shingle contained may be calculated. The main engines are used to drive the bow of the dredger onto the beach. If necessary, a spud is dropped to anchor it in place while the shingle is discharged over the bow. In order to unload shingle, valves connecting the suction side of the main dredge pump to pipes leading from the bottom of the hoppers are opened, and on the discharge side of the pump, valves are closed on the storage hopper delivery pipes, and flow is diverted to a cannon facing over the bow. During discharge, the jet pump is used to deliver water into the hoppers to help liquefy the shingle. During the summer of 2007, the saucepan dhow was on station at Eastoke for 28 days. In fair weather, the dredger was able to make 2 or 3 trips per tide. Despite losing some tides due to bad weather, almost 80 trips were made, with loads varying between 500 and 1,000 cubic metres, depending on the height of the tide. A total of 58,000 cubic metres of shingle dredged from the harbour entrance channel was delivered into 15 groin bays on the beach at Eastoke.